Okay, I think we're live. I'm outside today just because I wanted to change pace. I'm in my backyard and it's all green and lush and pretty, except for that dirt patch back there. I don't know, I just felt like doing it outside today. So tonight, I'm excited that we finally get to do this call, and I'm sorry that I had to postpone it because I lost my voice because I felt like I was so amped up to talk about this Monday night, and then I don't know, I got sick and now I'm kind of like, but I really will try and be excited for you guys. One of the things I kind of wanted to start and talk about was kind of dealing with consistency and just making sure you're doing the things that are productive and not just busy work in your business. And I wanted to read something that I've been reading, the Slight Edge, and I took a picture of what I was reading the other day, and I just thought it was really good. It talks about just what it takes to be successful, and it's talking about 5 things. And the first thing was momentum. So really, like, slow and steady really does win the race. Once you've got that momentum, and I've talked about that before, once you really have that momentum, like your train is pulling out of the station, you've got the water coming out of the spigot, that's kind of it gets easier. You still have to keep reaching out to people, but it's important to keep that momentum. And I talked about that last week. Like, when you're letting yourself lose all that momentum and then you're having to pick back up again, it's so much work. Like, no wonder some of you guys have wanted to quit and stop doing this. I totally relate, because in those moments where you've just dropped everything that was in your hand and now you have to pick everything up again, like, that's so frustrating. So that, I think, keeping that momentum, and in the beginning while you're starting coaching, probably the most frustrating and trying time is you're trying to gain momentum, and so many new coaches get burned out. They're not seeing the results that they want, they're not making enough money fast enough, they're not getting the sales they want, and what you don't realize is you're building that fire, and you really have to keep building. Because, like, I did Girl Scouts, I'm sure some of you guys did Boy Scouts. When you're building a fire, it's like this really intimate, vulnerable state. And if you realize that you look down and you have no wood, like, I remember being a Girl Scout and we're like getting our fire together, and then I realized I didn't go gather kindling, so I have to run into the woods and get kindling. Well, by the time I get back, my fire's dead, and now I have to start from scratch again. And it's the same thing with clients. We know the 3 vital behaviors: invite, be proof the products work, and do personal development. We know them, and the reason everybody in the world is not successful network marketer is because they're very easy to do, but they're very easy not to do, and we just are choosing daily to not do them. And I have that struggle. Like, there are days I just don't want to reach out to people, and some days I don't, and I pay for it, and some days I do, even though I don't feel like it. But you have to be patient in that time where you're building momentum, and know that, sometimes something's going to happen and you're not going to be able, you can't not drop your momentum. You get hurt, something happens with family, and you're going to lose some steam. Those things are going to happen. But some of you that I talk to and I hear your frustration, it seems like you go really gung-ho and then you get burned out. And you're really gung-ho and then you get burned out. And really, you're doing yourself a disservice, because you're going to get frustrated. You're going to want to quit, because who wants to start from scratch every time? So momentum's a huge part of being successful. And once you get that momentum, like, you want to keep it going. The other thing, I talked too long and I lost it. The other thing was completion. Each and every incomplete thing in your life or work exerts a draining force on you. And if you think about it, like, when you wake up in the morning, you know those things you have to get done, like those big things you have to get done in the day. And I do this, like, trying to think of, so I send out monthly emails to all my clients, and that's always just like, I have to do that. Well, now I've just gotten to the point where I do it at the beginning of every month. Like, it's the first thing I do, because I found that like every month I was just putting it off till tomorrow, and then it's the end of the month and I have to send it out. And it's not only has it stressed me out the whole month, but it's like become this thing that, yeah, it just like it's in the forefront of my mind. I'm focusing on it and I'm not even ever doing it. So I'm spending more time stressing out and focusing on it than it would have just taken me to do the stupid thing. So do those things that are stressing you out the most, do them first, get them over with. I mean, we tell our kids that, like, just eat the food, get it over with so you can go play, or get your homework done so you can go out and play. Like, it's the same thing. Get those things done so they're not stressing you out. Habit. Your habits are what will propel you up the success curve or down the failure curve. And I love that, because we really are, we're living habits. And something my husband and I were just talking about last night is, like, every night for the past few months we've been watching a show. Like, we just kind of, neither of us talked about it. We just kind of sunk into this habit of watching a show every night. And last night we were talking about, we're like, you know, we don't need to watch a show every night. Why don't we go out on the back porch, this back porch, and hang out and talk and, like, share life with each other? And I think that's such a simple thing, but we forget, not making a decision, you're making a decision. So by not making the decision to recruit for 15 minutes every day, you're making the decision to not do that. So you're not recruiting. You're spending your time doing something else, which is probably less productive and less good for you. But you're choosing to spend your time doing that. And we all have 15 minutes to blow in our day. And I'm not telling you to give up all your free time. We have loads of time. We just choose to do other things with it. And I think if your priority, if you really are connected, if you really want to make this business successful, like I'm saving up to send my parents to Israel next year. I have all the money in my account. I'm going to write them a check at Christmas time for 2 people to take a 2-week trip to Israel. Like, that's been something I've wanted to do for them for a really long time. And I get to do that because I work. Like, I work every day at this. I stay consistent. And John and I are going to get to take our kids and travel around the world. And that's something that really is important to me. We're looking at doing a cruise next year in Europe. And I'm going to save up for that. And, like, we don't live lavishly. I choose to save what I make and go travel once a year. But those things are totally possible. And for me, that is really important. That is way more important than me watching another Parks and Rec, or way more important than me, I don't know, frying my brain on some phone game. Like, it's important to me, so it drives me every day. And yeah, I have days where I don't do as much as I should, but I get back to it the next day and I stay consistent, and I've built this momentum that I keep going. And I will say, right now, it's a lot easier for me than it was when I first started. But it took a lot of work to get here, and I am not going to let it go, because I know my why, and I have created habits that really reinforce and get me to my goal. The next thing was reflection. Being productive and being busy are not necessarily the same thing. Doing things won't create your success. Doing the right things will. And I think that really speaks to the 3 vital behaviors. You have to be reaching out to new people every day and inviting them. You have to be doing your workouts and showing people that you're doing them, and you have to be doing personal development. If you're not doing one of those things, you're going to be struggling. And I think it's so important to not do the busy stuff. Like, I see some of you guys are posting in like 20 groups a day your workout pictures. And while that's really cool, like, that has to take time out of your day. And I would say, make sure you're doing the other 3 things first. And if you have time to post in my fitness group, go ahead. But I would much rather you post I'd much rather you be spending that time inviting people, spending that time doing your personal development, or spending that time doing your workouts than posting in my group. Like, I don't like, those things are more important, and I think we can just get really busy with stuff that isn't building our business. So think about that. Think about the things that you're spending your time on every day, and are they building my business, or is this allowing me to spend more time with my family? Whatever is important to you. I know this business isn't everything. Like, I recently just started on the worship team at my church, and I'm singing and I'm playing the guitar, and I haven't played in a long time. Just life has gotten in the way, so I've been making it a priority to practice my guitar, and I've been trying to do that every day because it's important to me, and I want to improve, I want to get better, so I spend time doing that rather than, I don't know, folding laundry. But you have to make time for the things. The things that are going to get you where you want to go are the most important. It's like, if you think about a jar, you have big rocks and you have little rocks. And we have a hard time fitting all the rocks in the jar because we're just dropping them in. But if you think about it, you need to take the big rocks. What's most important? Well, for me, my family's most important. Recreation, I love traveling. I love helping people and serving people. So those three things are really important to me. So those need to go in first. I need to make room for those. And if I put those in first, then all the little things fall in too. Like, there's room for all of it. But when you're just tossing stuff in, you'll find that stuff won't fit. So being strategic and really doing those things that are most important to you first is going to make your life simpler. And then there was one last thing, and I keep canceling myself because I'm talking too long. Oh, celebration. And it says, keep your slight edge activities. So basically just those things that, you know, are moving you towards your goal. Your right choices and incremental success right out in the open where you can see them and celebrate them. Acknowledge those steps no matter how small. So celebrate the little things. Celebrate, you know, be sharing with people, even if your paycheck tomorrow isn't, you know, some people have like $20,000 paychecks. That's not me. Some people have $100 paychecks, and you know what? That's $100 that you didn't have last week, and I think that's pretty damn awesome. So celebrate those things, and I think the more people see you celebrating these things and being excited, the more they'll be drawn to you, and that's something I need to be better at. I need to be better at celebrating and being excited, because if I'm never celebrating my Beachbody business, if I'm never excited, if I'm never talking about how awesome my job is, then people aren't going to come to me and want to know about what I'm doing. So be celebrating what you're doing. Okay, so that was kind of my opener. Mainly what I wanted to talk to you about tonight was challenge groups. And this was kind of brought on by Jefferson, just struggling with challenge groups and inviting people and getting people to purchase challenge packs. So I kind of wanted to speak to that, and I'm not going to go in depth. Honestly, if you want more information, or if you feel like you need a ton of help with it, you can message me or look on the Team Motivate website. There's tons of information on there. Also, the online back office. I find, and I will keep this to me, I am a person that wants to absorb all the information and all the ways of doing things because I have fear of just doing it. And I think a lot of times we can do that. We're like, well, how would you approach this person? And what would you do in this situation? And we ask so many questions and want to know the answers to everything because we're really just avoiding having to go out and do it. So you're just going to have to go out and do it and feel it out. Like, I wasn't great at it when I started, but you learn. And I will say, I told this to Jefferson when we were on the phone, probably about 90% of objections that you get from people come from you. And I will be honest, when I first heard that, I was like, like, I'm not giving people objections. Like, I'm not doing that, but you totally are. And I see it all the time. Um, when I come into a conversation like, oh, this person's totally, they just asked the money question, how much does it cost? How much does it cost? They're totally not going to buy it. I'm just coming so like defeated and self-conscious that totally it rubs off in the conversation. No wonder they're not buying it from me. I wouldn't buy it from me. So I think it really starts with personal development, being confident in who you are, knowing that, you know, I'm going to do this. I'm going to have this challenge group. I'm going to do these workouts. I'm going to get to my goal with or without you. So are you in on what I'm doing? Do you want to join this? Because if you do, that's awesome. But if not, that's fine. I'm going to move on to the next person because I'm moving. And if you want to move with me, if you want to come with me, then come on board. But I'm going to keep going. I think you really have to have that mentality because tons of people say no. People aren't ready. They have so many excuses. They say all the right things. And then when it gets to the price, honestly, if you really want to lose 30 pounds, $140 is nothing. Like it really, it's not a big deal. And I think how you approach people, your confidence, and you have to be in this. Like you have to believe what you're doing and be passionate about it and be sure about it. And I think for some of you, and I would say myself included, for a long time I struggled with that. Like I wasn't in it 100%. I still cared what other people thought. I was still kind of held myself back a little bit. I think at this point I'm just like, you know what, I'm doing this. Like I'm totally gonna do this. I'm making it work, and people are having results, and you can totally join in on what I'm doing. But if you choose not to join me, it doesn't matter to me. Like I'm still doing this. I'm on my way. I think you have to have that attitude. I think also you have to know that these products are not expensive. And that was another thing I struggled with. Like somebody would come to me and say, oh, Shakeology is just so expensive. And I'm like, yeah, I totally understand. Like, oh, yeah, you're right. It's not. And I posted something a little while ago about the cost for dinners. And it was something along the lines of, like, most people spend $4 to $6, and that's a pretty frugal family dinner. And if you think about it, that's over $200 for the month. And the reason Shakeology feels so expensive is it's an upfront expense. So you're paying for 30 meals up front. You're really saving money. You're providing yourself with health. You're probably saving all the medical expenses and medicine that you would have to take in the future. And people just are so in the now. They're not in the future. So you kind of have to remind people of that. It's not expensive, and you really have to come from that position. These products are totally worth it. And I just ran into this with a friend the other day who is signing up to be a coach, and she's like, whoa, Shakeology $130. And I was like, you know what? I would pay more for it. It's totally worth it. It's changed my life. Check this video out. And I sent her the Tony Horton video. And she was like, wow, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it seems like it totally is. But because I approached her in that mindset, rather than validating her saying it was expensive, she totally was right there with me. And if those of you that are parents, or I'm sure all of you have been around children, when a little kid falls, you notice they look around and they're looking for an adult, and they're kind of looking to see what their reaction should be. And I've noticed that with my kids. Like my daughter will fall down and she'll look at me and want to know what she should do. And if I'm like, she's going to cry, she's going to freak out. But I try and say, you're totally fine. It's okay. You're totally okay. And it's amazing. She's fine. She'll totally keep playing. But my mindset really affects her. And if you think about it with your clients, it's the same thing. If you're approaching them, oh, they're going to say no, they're going to think it's too expensive. Of course they are, because you're showing them how they should react to the products. you must focus on their why. So I want to start just by saying the process from start to finish. So first, you really have to be adding people. You need to be on Instagram, you need to be on Twitter, you need to be on Facebook, whatever works for you, and you have to be reaching out to people. And generally, as of late, I have noticed that reaching out to Beachbody customers is just not working like it used to. There's too many coaches. The pool is just infested with us. So you need to go to a bigger pool where there's not as many coaches. So I'm on Instagram. Some of you guys are on Twitter. I just search, and I've talked about this before, but I search fitness, clean eating, and I use Statagram, which is now, I'm going to look that up because I don't want to misinform you. So on Twitter, it's TweetDeck, and I have a video about that in our team FMB. And on Instagram, I think it's Statagram, but they just named it something. Oh, Icon Square. ICONOSQUARE.com. So Icon Square. And you can link it to your Instagram account. And you, just like, because I'm on my computer a lot, I like going on there because it's fast, and then I'll reply to people on my phone. But I'm just liking a bunch of pictures. I'll comment on some. And then if people follow me, I message them and basically say, hey, I noticed that you followed me, like, thanks so much, tell me about yourself, or, you know, whatever. You can send them a direct message, or you can message them under a picture, whatever, but just reaching out to people every day. And it doesn't take me a ton of time. I maybe spend 5 or 10 minutes in the morning, maybe 5 or 10 minutes in the afternoon, and 5 or 10 minutes in the evening. And I've kind of stopped adding as many people to my fitness group, and I'm adding more people to my clean eating group, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. So I'm adding new people, you know, every week, several new people every week. Sometimes new people daily. It just depends what my week looks like. Excuse me. So I've gotten to the point where I can kind of feel somebody out, whether they would be good for the fitness group, whether they would be good for the clean eating group, or whether they're ready for me to just invite them to the challenge group right away. What I've been doing lately is those people that I connect with on Instagram, I make sure and connect with on Facebook, and I basically just say, hey, you know, I connect them and ask them about clean eating, just ask them questions, you all know that, and then, hey, do you happen to be on Facebook? I'm on there more, which I am. I would love to connect there. And if they are, great. If they're not, that's fine too. So I connect with them on Facebook, and I usually keep a list of people that I have newly connected with, because it might be the middle of the month and I don't know, maybe I'm taking the week off of inviting, but I don't want to forget about them. So I always write them down, or you can keep track of them another way. So once they're on Facebook, I generally am inviting a lot of people to my clean eating group because it's a free thing, so I'm adding value to them right off the bat, and it's almost something to kind of get them to a point where they've lost a few pounds, which I've noticed kind of agitates a person just enough, like, okay, I've lost a few pounds, I still have 20 to go, I just need to do this thing. So you're kind of getting them in the right mindset for a challenge group. And then I just message them after the clean eating group and say, you know, hey, how'd the clean eating group go? Did you lose any weight? Awesome. You know, are you happy with that? Do you have more to lose? Do you work out too? And then after a little while, I'll just say, hey, by the way, I have this June fitness challenge coming up, and you were somebody I thought of that might be interested. Is that something you might be interested in? And then, of course, they write back, yeah, what does it entail? And I tell them, I'll send you all the details, but first tell me, why are you interested? What are your goals? Where do you want to get to? And I say, get real with me. I want to see if this is a good fit for you. And if they reply back, I want to lose 10 pounds, I say, awesome, tell me why. And if they don't write me back, that's fine. I might message them a few times, but generally, those people that are not willing to write you back and go deeper, we're never going to say yes. So don't waste your time chasing them. Spend that time connecting with more people and inviting more people. Because honestly, if somebody's excited, I mean, think about the people that have bought challenge packs from you. Generally, they're people that are just ready. They're going to do it. You don't have to follow up with them 20 million times. Some of them you do, but they're willing to go there with you because it's important to them and they know their why. So don't waste your time on people that are just going to make excuses. So I will generally do that, and then when they message me back their why, and you just want to talk about it and validate it, and don't just send them back something that says awesome. Say, man, thank you for sharing that with me. I can tell that's really important to you, and I can tell that you really want to get there. I can tell, I don't know, for example, it really means a lot for you to feel confident this summer in your bathing suit for your 10-year reunion, and I can totally see you getting there, and I'm so excited. And then I just say, what would it mean for you? Like, I just tell them, close your eyes and picture yourself there where you want to be. What would that feel like? Like, what would that mean to you? And a lot of people will go there with you because we love dreaming about things that we want. And then I ask them how serious they are, and I just say, it takes a commitment. I want people that are serious and are in this. I have a lot of people that are interested, and I only take 10 people. So all these things along the way, I'm making it something that I'm saying I'm not chasing you. I'm not in need of you. This is something that I would allow you to be a part of if you're a right fit for it. And then when they message me back, yes, I'm serious, then I send them the Ever Feel Like This video. If you go to Yahoo or YouTube and type in Beachbody Ever Feel Like This, that's the challenge group invite video I'm sending to people. So I send them that video, and I say, I'm going to send you a short video. Please watch it tonight, and I will message you back about it tomorrow. Because you kind of want to create that sense of urgency. You could also say, hey, I'm going to send you a short video. Is it something you can watch tonight? ? And then when they answer back, send it. You could do that too. And then when the next day, I don't ask them, how'd you like the video? What'd you think? I say, what did you like about what you saw? You're always keeping it positive, but you're asking a question. And then I always assume that they, some gal just recently was like, well, I like that people are helping people lose weight. And I was like, awesome. So all we need to do is get you your program in Shakeology. Do you need one or both? I'm assuming, I'm just assuming she wants to do it. She needs a program in Shakeology. I don't always require Shakeology. In this group that I'm doing in June, I'm not requiring it. But sometimes I do, and I think it's fine to require it. I find when people make a financial investment, they actually take the challenge seriously. You get what you pay for. And if you pay nothing, then you're probably not going to take it as seriously as you would if you paid for it. So I think it's important that people make some sort of an investment. One thing that I kind of toyed around with this last challenge was people that were not willing to get the Shakeology or not able to. I had them purchase the Shakeology sample pack, and I let them be a part of the challenge group for 1 week with the pack. And I noticed that some of the people then purchased their Shakeology because they loved being a part of the group. They didn't want to lose that motivation. So it was kind of like a little teaser for them. So that's something that you could try. But that's pretty much how I approach people at the challenge group. I get a lot of no's. I get a lot of people that just kind of fall off and don't message me back. I write their names down. I follow up with them the next month. Some people it takes 3 or 4 months before they are able to join the challenge group, but I don't stop following up with people unless they tell me no, leave me alone. Then I'll totally stop. But go for the no. And this is something that I just recently talked to somebody about. We're so afraid of people saying no. Stop focusing on people saying yes. I want you to try and get people to say no. Because in our fear of people saying no, we're actually not asking the question. And I think you'll find if you try and get somebody to say no, you're actually going to get some more yeses than you thought you would. So focus on the no. Go for the no. Keep asking. Keep inviting. And if they tell you no, fine. But I think you'll find that some people are going to say yes because you chose to follow up and ask those questions. Trying to think what else I was going to talk about. I think that was pretty much it. Yeah. So I guess for next week, next Monday, send me a message if there's something you guys want to talk about, or if there wasn't, maybe if there's some questions about the challenge group that you didn't feel like I totally covered. I could totally answer questions. One more thing I would say is when getting people on the phone is never a bad idea. When somebody decides they want to get the challenge pack, ask them, would you prefer if I call you and we order it over the phone right now? I can walk you through it. That's all. I mean, you're always going to have success doing that because you're getting on the phone and making it personal with somebody. So you can definitely try that. I've done that a few times, and it seems like the people that I've talked with over the phone, probably 7 out of 10 of them purchase the challenge pack, either over the phone with me or right after we're off the phone. Because it really does take a personal touch sometimes. So, you know, if that's something that you're fearful of, I mean, do it. Do a bunch of them. That's the best thing to get over a fear. Okay, it's starting to get dark out. I should probably close the call before I go into the dark. But yeah, message me about what you want me to talk about next week, and I'm excited for these video calls. Even though I can't see you, I feel like it's more connected than when we're on the phone. So I will talk to you guys next week. Okay, good night.